Why do you ask me, guys? Ask this guy. He cleared exam yesterday. Bobby joined my batch program from Canada. He's recently moved from India to Canada. And his sister, Bincy, she joined first. She cleared. And now Bobby cleared. Bobby, congratulations. I want you to share your journey in your own way. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Journey was pretty straightforward. I did not have much of a confusion because just followed your plan. Because I'm always a book person, so I've done many certifications and I've bought all the books. I've done a lot of I read a lot, so I was always a book person. So I was always worried because your mantra always said that you don't have to worry about the books. Just practice my way of doing things. You should get through. So that was actually a bit worried for me initially, but then slowly carried on with the process. And then initially it was only 3 hours to 4 hours per day. And then slowly, last 2 weeks, I guess the last 2 weeks was a bit hectic. And then it went up to 6 hours per day and practiced all the mocks. And then slowly, when the ATPs and the random mocks came up, the confidence actually went down a little and then again started practicing. The overall mocks brought it back. So it was actually a good journey. It was a good journey, and it was to be frank, my exam paper was actually not very tough. I wouldn't say it was very easy at all. It was between medium and tough. That's the best I can say. And I was able to finish it off in time. The timing was very important. Let's say I could finish it off in I had only 1 minute or 2 minutes left for the entire exam once I cleared it.
Mm. So you were on the time. Like
I
you were.
was no, I was following your time principle. See, I didn't worry about when I'm going to finish. So I just first I thought 80 minutes, the first 60 questions, I'll stop, then go for my break and come back. So I planned it like that. The next was 75, and the next was 75. I did not, concentrate of how till I'll do the third phase, or I did not plan that. I just planned the first 60 questions, I'll go with 80 minutes. I planned like that and I've moved forward.
Mm. Okay, okay, okay. That's an important thing that uh, to follow. Which area was most highlighted in the exam?
Agile and teams were heavily used.
Mm.
Uh, that is what because to be frank, if I had done PMP boot camp 20 years back, so that was PMBOK 3.
Okay.
So it was only predictive there.
Even before
So
my PMP.
yeah, it was very old. So it was I think 2005 or 2004 or 2005. It was
Okay.
PMBOK 3 was it? So it was not no agile was there. So if you look at it, it was completely agile. Maybe 80% was agile and teams, and it was okay. It was okay.
Hmm. Okay, it was okay. That is good. Guys, if you have any question that you want to ask him, please ask him. He joined the batch 10, okay, a batch 8, and he cleared it. Now you are in the batch 10. Straightforward, a journey for all of you that he joined and cleared in 2 months. And even in 2 months, he was ready actually in 1 month. He took like 15 to 20 days and a little bit push up for finally booking the exam. But he did it. And he's not the only one from batch 8. You remember yesterday when we were recording Vishal journey, I told you batch 8 is my golden batch. So he also cleared from batch 8. Required mock score, which led him to take the exam. So Naveed is asking, what was your score that you then went to the exam?
Mocks 1 to 6. I didn't take the sixth mock. I took 1 to 5 mocks. 5 mocks. My range was above 80, and between 75 and 80%. That was my first trial. I got it around 82, 81, 76. That was my range for the mocks actually. But don't worry about it because once you finish the RCA and once you hit the ATP and the random mocks, you'll be much better because ATP and random mocks are a bit higher, a bit tough when you compare it with the mocks, and then it should be okay because I would say mocks 4 and 5 was the perfect thing to practice. It touches the entire thing. What his armor is framed it very well for 4 and 5, so it is actually really good for practice. But ATP and random mocks will help you revise the whole thing. It's actually a strain, but you should get through it. The scores will be around let's say 75% above to 80, 82.
Hmm. Okay, okay. G. Did you have any predictive or agile project management experience or similar that may contributed to success other than this program?
Saeed, that's a good question. So, what the important thing here was, I'm already a Prince 2 practitioner. The problem was I was facing was because the artifacts, the stage name, the faces name, all were different. So this was actually difficult for me to actually, like Amar said, I took 2 months was because the initial few weeks itself it was difficult for me to understand the PME terminologies and to get into the PMI understanding. So that was actually, but previous experience in the project management will definitely help. Yes, but again, that is a daily experience. That is not going to help you in PMI because PMI has its own standards and things of doing it. Like explained above, what is the claims and contracts and agreements. There is a PMIism very, very clearly defined. You can't actually bring your day-to-day operations or your day-to-day ideas into writing the exam. You could take the other way around, but definitely it will help. I'm telling you, the terminologies and all will definitely help, but the PMI standards has to remain for the exam, has to be very strictly followed during the exam.
Have to be followed in the exam. That's beautiful. That's an important thing to look into that. Okay, how many drags and drop?
Drag and drop was around 5 to 7, I guess seven drag and drops.
Okay.
Questions were pretty straightforward, like you said. Those risk assessments came in, urgency, dormancy, and that all those came in. Then
Mm.
a calculation on SPI. No calculations doesn't come in, but SPI was greater. TCPI was less. So where do you put and which is good, which is bad? Those things came in. MBQTI came in. So the confusion was for me. The confusion was between judging and sensing. So
Mm.
this is something that you need to practice. So rest always straightforward. And one more thing was, yeah, Parkinson law, student syndrome, drop button, all those things also came in. So a
Okay.
few things actually, it was straightforward, but things came.
Okay. Okay. That's a beautiful thing to look into that, how the things worked into that. And yeah. Okay. Okay. That's the important thing to put in the context. G, how you divide 6 hours you spend per day on preparation? You did 6 hours?
Yeah, towards the end, towards the end
Towards the end, but that was for the mock, like the 4 hour
for the
mock.
mocks.
For the
Yeah,
mock you have to do 4 hours, that is for straight. So how did you divide, how what were you working in that, they are asking?
the mocks were actually 4 hours. So straight for see for doing a 4 hour mock, you will definitely have 5 hours, at least 4 hours to do the RCA for it. So, so that means I split the RC into two sections actually. First, I finish off the mocks because you get tired, then start revising the older mocks. So then I went for a 60 question RCA. Then I went back again to the mocks again. So you have to practice in such a way that you don't sit together like for 6 hours to do the RCAs and all. It was actually tiring, very tiring.
Mm. It
So
was
uh,
okay. Okay.
so you should balance it accordingly. So but don't worry about it because the most important thing is the RCA. Don't worry about the scores in the mocks. The most important thing is the RCA, and prepare once you finish the RCA of the, because I to be frank, when I finished the, let's say when I went for the second attempt of the mock, the mistakes which I didn't make in the first attempt I made in the second attempt. That was because the RCA of the correct ones were not defined well. So then I
Mm.
had to go and redo it again. So the mistakes what you don't make in the first mock or the first trial, you might make it in the second one. So that was something that was challenging for me also.
Mm. That was challenging for you also. Okay. Okay. G, how was the most difficult thing you find during your PMP preparation apart from random mocks, right?
Yeah. What is the most
Random.
useful things you find during the PMP preparation? No, I don't think so. I don't think you will, because everything. See, the important thing is those who have started PMP now will find it a bit difficult now. But once you finish with the simulator, I will tell you. Once you finish with the people mock and the process mock, you will understand the entire scope of PMP. So I don't think you will have a problem. So don't worry about it. Just proceed with Amir's plan very clearly. He specific. The problem. Don't think that your roadmap is the same with the other roadmaps. No? Be careful with that. And don't compare your scores with the other people because Amir is very strictly following roadmaps for every individual. So accordingly, he will rephrase it for you. So be careful. Don't compare your marks with the other people, and then follow their roadmap. Go back to Amir and the team, and he will define how to follow for way forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gee, I actually it's a very good time that you came for the success journey there. PMP just ended. So now confused what will happen. So it's a good way that we are recording your journey today. Okay, any particular tactics trip to crack the PMP? By the way, how important this was booklet?
Booklet was definitely important because I also bought one, so I also have that.
I also
So
bought it from Amazon. I
yeah,
actually
I bought
paid
it
for
from.
it. I actually paid it $9, I guess, at that. Whatever the was, I paid it and got it because
Uh,
getting printed here in US is more expensive than buying.
so then, very
It's,
true,
it's,
very true.
it's it's better to buy it from Amazon.
So keep reading it because this has the bullet points. So keep reading it. Maybe in a week you just have to read it once. I'm telling a time when you guys are close to the exam. Huh? Now just follow the videos and all. Just after once you start with your mocks and all, just keep reading it. It's a very clear bullet point, so you will not get confused. It should not be a problem for you. Tips and tricks. There are definitely tips and tricks. I'm sure Amar will explain to you later because if I start selling the tips and tricks now, then you will not do
No,
your
no, give
mocks
it,
well.
give it, give it, give it. It's your
Uh,
time.
so,
We
so
don't,
uh,
Bobby, give it. Maybe I will also learn few things. Give it. Whatever the tips you have, share with them. Whatever you
no,
want
no,
to.
the tips and there's no secrets in it. The question very definedly says you need to understand the last. That's what every time Amar specifically says read the last line first. So the last line is because uh, if you notice, the questions are very precise. So what do you do next, or what do you do first? You're not They're not expecting you to do an action. They're expecting you to do a review or an update of certain things. They're not expecting you to go back, do an action for it. So, but what do you do that actually tells you there's an action to be performed? So how do you resolve this? There is an action to be performed. So these are few things which you have to notice when you do the mocks or going forward. So when they say, to be very clear, when they say what do you do first or what do you do next, it is very clear that you have to go through a document or to revise a document or to review a document. And what you do means they are expecting you to do an action to fix the above problem in the question. So this is some things which you need to be very clear. That's why he always emphasizes read the last part first, because you already know what you're going to read above. So these are small things which then let me tell you the issue what I happened during, because I actually zoom in to see the screen. Actually I read the questions a bit big, but during the exam the questions were actually small for me. And I went back, I told the invigilator to zoom in, but she said no, the application cannot zoom in. So just practice in such a way that you're not zooming in too much, you at a medium level, because I found it a little difficult to read the questions, because I usually zoom in to read through or to do all the mocks. So this was a small uh, hiccup for me during the exam.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it was all good. No worries. See, very important. Like I said, the timing management is very important. You can finish off 60 questions for 230 minutes also, but it's very important. You have to finish 80 minutes. Set 80 minutes from 230 to 150. Finish 60 questions. From 150 to 75. Finish the next 60 questions. The rest 75 for the next 60. That will take you perfectly, because then you will not be worried. Flagging, there's something, there is flagging, and highlighting is also there. Flagging can be done. Do the choose the right answer and then flag if you want to flag to come back, because I'm sure you will not have time to come back for the flagging option. I had only 1 minute, or 1 minute in each of the sessions, to come back to review the 3 or 4 flags which I had set.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. This is important. Did you do the test online or in center?
Most of my exams in my career, I've taken an online test. But this was very clearly because I was in Canada, and I'm a bit worried about how the internet connection would be. I'm very clearly, and even my sister actually, she pushed me very clearly to say that go to the training center. See, the most important thing is, like they said, if you're at home and you start doing like this and all those things, it's going to be a problem. They will definitely give you a warning and they will have a problem. But in the test center, you are actually, all those things are okay. To relax a bit, to take deep breath exercises and all during the exam, these are all okay, because they are anyway monitoring you through a camera in the online test center. So you should definitely take it at the exam center, I would suggest.
You would suggest that going to the exam centers, and exam center I also recommend. Is there a flank? Yes. No, in the mocks is not, but in
No.
the in we are trying to add, but there is some kind of a app challenge that we cannot do. G, anything else, Bobby, you would like to add as a final words to those people who are going to be It's like when you are giving your graduation speech to all the new candidates. So it's exactly like that. How would you say anything else to them if you
No,
want?
you just have to follow very clearly. See, don't worry about how you do it in the first mock or the second mock. The scores might go up, but very clearly follow the process, because the simulator is made in such a way, the people mock and the process mock, follow it correctly. Because if you don't do the people mock and process mock and jump directly to the randoms or the mocks, you'll definitely lose. So finish the people mock and the process mock perfectly. Write down your scores, do the RCS perfectly, and then go to the mock. So there is a sequence of how doing it. Don't jump and don't worry about how fast you're going, because not everyone can finish in 10 days or 12 days or 20 days. So don't worry about it. But you need to push yourself also. Try to see when is the, like Amar always said, try to see what is the next date. When is the next date? So if you don't push yourself, and if you say the next date is 6 months or 7 months down the line, you will forget things.
Hmm.
So that is something that you need to be very sure of. So choose a date which is, let's say, 20 days from now, or 1 month from now, or 20 days, let's say 20 days from now. And the last, let's say, last 12 days or the last 15 days, start practicing the mocks, concentrating on the RCA as well. You guys should do it, man. It's a straightforward thing, so don't worry. It's a straightforward thing. And I always used to ask Amir, does mock questions come in the exam? This was something that I used to ask him. So out of all the mocks, let's say maybe 20% or 30% questions only came. Maximum was, let's say, 20 to 30 questions came through. That was ditto same. But the rest all was definitely something related to the questions what he has actually given us, something related. So it was very close, or the logic was the same. Those things were actually it will help. It will help. But when you guys go through the mocks, you will understand. So not to worry, you guys will definitely clear up, and don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It has been an honor to work with you. It has been an
Hey, please,
honor.
thank you.
How many questions were five liners or six liners?
That's a don't worry about the five liner, six liner, because once they give you a five liner, the next will be a one liner. So you can finish it off in 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So definitely you will have a five, six line, but that will not be much. That will be maximum eight or maximum nine. So don't worry, and that will be distributed across. So the next three, four questions, if you have taken 2 minutes for this question for the five liners, for the next two or three questions will be for within 5 seconds or 10 seconds, you'll be able to clear that. So don't
Hmm.
worry about those timing and time management. Don't worry, and don't think about solving. Don't look at the time every minute. Look at the time after 10 questions, after 20 questions. Don't look at it after 1 minute, after 2 minutes. Don't think like that, because the time will definitely vary between how you do the questions and how fast you move. So don't worry about it.
Hmm. So how you do it and how fast you do it, it will work into that way. Okay, that's another important thing, and I loved it. Okay, thank you very much, Bobby.
Anytime, anytime, Amar.
Do send me a good picture of you. I'll make a
Hey,
thumbnail. And tomorrow is PMP marathon, so if you can make few questions that I can use for PMP marathon, do
okay.
let me. Thank you very much.
Sure, sure, sure. Take care,
And
take care.